The answer to the question is that the company will have to increase the quantity of output supply, at least in the short term. And the reason for this is because the company ends up saving money after the negotiation, at least over the time of the contract in which the company can non-negotiate a new price and pay the workers more because of the higher inflation that resulted during the year. So over the period of the contract in which the wages are fixed, we really have to differentiate between potential output and then actual output. And the way we're going to differentiate is by this rule. If the estimated price level that is negotiated is greater than the actual price level in the economy, then the actual quantity supply is going to be less than the potential quantity supply. And we're going to call actual supply QA and potential output QP. Potential output is simply the long run output that determined by the inputs of production. On the other hand, if the estimated price level is less than the actual price level, then actual quantity supply is going to be greater than potential output. And when the price level is the same as the actual price level, then actual quantity supply is the same as the potential output. Now notice that estimated price level and actual price level eventually meet each other after the parties have time to fix the actual estimations once the actual price level is known. So here's what results from these three rules in a graph. So the long-run aggregate supply is determined by the inputs, and that determines potential output. Now, actual output is going to depend as to whether the expected price level and the actual price level are the same or not. Suppose the actual price level is greater than the actual estimated price level. In that case, as we said, the actual output will be greater than potential output because the employers are actually getting the better deal in the negotiation. So over the short term, the time in which the negotiating price between employees and employers cannot be changed, the short-run aggregate supply curve will be upward slope. Now, it's going to take some time for you to understand this adjustment between the short term and the long term along the supply side. But the most important thing is that you remember that in the short term, the aggregate supply curve is upward sloping, but eventually the aggregate supply will become a straight line as a long-run aggregate supply once the economy has time to adjust the price expectations. Now notice that anything that changes the supply side of the market at the same price is going to shift the aggregate supply to the right or to the left. So for instance, suppose there's a oil crisis and oil become more expensive because of supply issues in the oil markets internationally. In that case, you will have less supply at every price and you will have to shift the supply curve to the left. With the same thing will happen with any supply shock in the market. But let's now move to the demand side, and we can do more practice with the short-run aggregate supply when we have the whole model together.